Hello children of the universe and welcome back to my channel, Makeup and Science. My name is Darky and this is where I like to play with makeup whilst I talk to you about science. And today I am returning to the solar system series and I will be discussing the planet Jupiter. I also like to try and do planetary inspired makeup when I do talk about science topics. So this is my take on all the beautiful colors that Jupiter presents to the universe. So if that sounds interesting to you, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi! So I was thinking, before I start on Jupiter, I'll quickly discuss, or just like input a little bit about the asteroid belt. So the main asteroid belt is between Mars and Jupiter, and it is where most asteroids orbit in our solar system. So within the main asteroid belt, scattered in orbits around the sun, are bits and pieces of rock left over from the dawn of the solar system. So when pretty much the solar system was created and all the planets sort of combined and settled into their spherical form, there's some leftover materials that didn't get clumped into the main planetary systems, and they are pretty much just on their own and making little rocks and asteroids that aren't, big enough to be a planet. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just leftover scraps, really. So the main asteroid belt lies more than 2.5 Earth distances away from the sun. So you have like Earth and then double that and a little bit more, and you have the asteroid belt. Most asteroids are relatively small, with most of them being between the size of boulders and say a few thousand meters wide. And then you have the few that are much larger, like kilometers wide. And I feel like that's where I'm going to leave that, and we can move on to discussing Jupiter. So Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun. It is the largest in our solar system, and it is more than twice the mass of all planets combined. As per usual, all products used are going to be linked in the description box down below. I'm not planning to talk much about the makeup. It is mostly about science in my science videos. With Jupiter's large size, it was crowned the king of all planets, named after the king of all the Roman gods, Jupiter. And this fact had me thinking, why is the largest planet of our solar system in the middle of the planetary lineup? And that had me thinking of something that I heard in the past, and I'll have that study linked in the description down below, but it goes something like this. So more than half of the sun-like stars in our galactic neighborhood have super-Earths, planets that are between 1 and 10 times the size of Earth. The problem is they're also placed at the distance of like what Mercury is placed at our sun. So life wouldn't be able to exist on a boiling hot burning planet that it would be. In contrast, only around 10% of our galactic neighborhood stars have planets the size of Jupiter or Saturn. Scientists have used computer simulations to describe how Jupiter migrated inwards and then outwards through the solar system before setting into its current position. With the latest simulated models, they tracked how current objects in the inner solar system were affected by those early migrations. In the first 3 million years of our solar system's life, gravitational interactions with Jupiter and the gas in the pro-planetary disk, so pro-planetary, so before planets became one, it was just like a disk of dust, so pro-planetary, would have driven any super Earths closer to the sun. There they collided with each other, slowed down, and then with that slower speed, the sun's gravity would have dragged it into its depths, and those early super Earths would have just died. As the gas giants slowly left for the outer solar system, the leftover rock from the planetary disk coalesced into the inner planets that we have now: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. So yes, if it wasn't for Jupiter, and probably Saturn as well, those super Earths would have remained, and they would be way too close for the sun for life to exist. So we have to give a big shout out to Jupiter and Saturn for their big fat asses clearing the way and making it possible for the beautiful blue marble that is Earth to exist today. So Jupiter is just under 143,000 kilometers wide, which is equivalent to 11 Earths strung side by side across Jupiter's equator. If Earth were the size of a grape, Jupiter would be the size of a basketball. It is 5.1 astronomical units from the Sun, aka it is 5.1 times further away from the Sun than the Earth is. Remember, Earth is 1 astronomical unit away from the Sun. That is more than 778 million kilometers away. See, big numbers, they lose all meaning. Just cannot fathom what even that is. It's actually, there's a really, really, really cool simulator I went to in Gold Coast when I was like 15. And we lay, like, this whole room in the center was like this big squishy bowl floor. I don't know, it was squishy. And you lie down on it, and the whole ceiling is a screen or a projector or something, and it takes you on a journey to travel through space to scale. So you start off on Earth and you're looking down, and you start going up, and you see the land leaving you, but it keeps speeding up as well because you're just sitting there for like 10 minutes. And I think it took like 2 minutes to travel to Jupiter, like the space between Mars and Jupiter. Like, it really makes you just think of like how far away it is, because you're just waiting. Oh, I got a planet. And then another X amount of minutes until you see another planet. And then, and I also know there is a website. I'm going to try find it and link it below if I can find it, where again the measurement is to scale, and you scroll across the screen and it shows you like the distances between planets, and it's massive. It's crazy. Anyway, totally went off on a tangent. Let's get back to the story. Some truly beautiful features of Jupiter have captured the minds of scientists and everyday people alike through the centuries, and one of the most famous being the Great Red Spot. The Great Red Spot has been observed in Jupiter's clouds for the past 150 years, and most likely has been raging for much longer than that. But this amazing phenomena may be coming to an end sooner than expected. Scientists have observed the downsizing of the storm over recent years, yet there is no telling when the end is to come. For comparison's sake, Typhoon Tip was the largest and most intense tropical cyclone ever recorded on Earth. The wind diameter spanned over 2,000 kilometers wide and reached max speeds of 305 kilometers per hour. And I swear, the most recent cyclone that we had in northern Western Australia was more than 305 kilometers per hour. So, not cool. Luckily, it's not too heavily populated up north, And unfortunately, at least one like major, what is it? I think like a town servo, like a service station was destroyed, but no one was killed, which is wonderful. So keeping that in mind, the Great Red Spot is twice the width of Earth. So 2 Earths wide, so 4 Earths, fill it at least, is the size of the cyclone that we can see. And it's been shrinking, so it used to be bigger than that. And the peak winds, they believe to be like 432 kilometers per hour. You'd think that it'd be like, it's so much bigger than our cyclones, yet the speed isn't higher. But, you know, we could be wrong as well. Like, we can only see so much from this distance. Am I going ham with this blush? Yes, I am. Let's see if I can dull it down. It's alright, it's just for the video. I might go out to the city like this, but no one knows me in the city, so if this is your first time viewing one of these videos, I usually try to do my makeup that is inspired by the planet, so it's not necessarily pretty makeup that, you know, I'd wear outside. It's usually something more extreme that's just like planetary inspired. But I feel like today it's going to be a little bit more wearable, and I will wear it out. So I know I didn't say I was going to, I know I said I wouldn't be talking much about the makeup, but I got this from Glaminatrix. This is the Woodfire quad that they released recently, and I really love Glaminatrix. They're an Australian indie brand, and their products are just out of this world phenomenal. The mattes are amazing, the shimmers, the multi-chromes, everything is fantastic. So I just want to showcase it on my channel, and I thought this was a great time to do it. So let's continue. Next, there is Jupiter's Pearls. Jupiter's so-called string of pearls is a series of massive counterclockwise rotating storms that appear as white ovals in the gas giant's southern hemisphere. Since 1986, these white ovals have varied in number from 6 to 9. Now, the Great Red Spot and Jupiter's Pearls are not the most striking display the planet has. In 2018, the Juno mission sent a satellite into orbit around Jupiter. There, it captured the most amazing features of the planet. I present to you the polar cyclones. Juno discovered polygonal arrangements of giant cyclonic storms on both Jupiter's north and south poles. There are 8 storms arranged in an octagonal shape on the northern hemisphere pole, and there is 5 arranged in a pentagonal shape on the southern pole. Over time, scientists have determined that these storms are extremely resilient, and they have been there for God knows how long, because they were just recently discovered, but they haven't changed since then. Like, they have continued to remain exactly the same, so they seem to be very robust. And it's just so weird to have shapes in the storms, like they're not just circular, like there's an octagon because it has 8 storms, and it's a pentagon because it has 5 storms, and it's very interesting. And I am looking forward to seeing like the development of these storms over the decades. I mean, I hope I'm still here to, you know, observe what scientists find through the years, because I know they are sending out another satellite, and I think it should reach Jupiter in about 10 years, so in like 2030 something. So, you know, we'll wait and see how that goes. I wonder if I'll still be here making science videos so I can actually do an update on Jupiter's storms and and other features that are, going on. Like, is the red spot still going to be there in 10 years? We don't know. Another well-known feature of Jupiter is its stripes. Jupiter's atmosphere is made up of mostly hydrogen and helium gas, just like the sun. For many years, I've heard people saying Jupiter is a failed sun. But how true is that? Jupiter's mass isn't even close to being enough to create nuclear fusion. It would have to be 75 times its current mass to achieve nuclear fusion of a star. And even brown dwarf stars are at least 13 times the mass of our Jupiter. Brown dwarfs are failed stars, and they have the hydrogen isotope deuterium, which is 1 proton, 1 neutron, and 1 electron, that can undergo fusion. So while Jupiter is a planetary giant, its mass falls far short from the mark of being considered a failed star. And when it comes to planetary giants, there are gas giants many times the size of Jupiter orbiting other star systems. Scientists think that the depths of maybe halfway to the planet's center, the pressure becomes so great that the electrons are squeezed off the hydrogen atoms, making the liquid conductive like metal. Jupiter's fast rotation is thought to drive the electrical currents. And what does spinning electrical currents create? A magnetic field. Jupiter's magnetosphere is the largest object in the solar system. It ranges from 1 to 3 million kilometers towards the sun, right? So if the planet's there, sun's here. The magnetic field reaches 1 to 3 million kilometers towards the sun, okay? And then it tapers like a tadpole behind, right? And it reaches as far back into Saturn's orbit. And Saturn's really far away. Like, you think Jupiter's far, Saturn is really far. And that length, 1 billion kilometers. 1 billion! It's huge! If we could see Jupiter's magnetosphere with the naked eye, it would be 3 times the size of the moon or the sun. So like, the moon and the sun look like they are the same size in the sky, hence why we get eclipses, because they are the same size. So if you imagine the moon and then go 1, 2, 3, so 3 wide, that's how big Jupiter's magnetosphere would look to us. And also keeping in mind that Jupiter is 5 times further away than the sun. Yeah, because we're 1, they're 5.1. So they're 5 times further away than the sun to us. So, big boy. Big boy. Jupiter's magnetic field is 16 to 54 times stronger than Earth's, meaning Jupiter creates the strongest auroras in the entire solar system, and unlike Earth's, they never cease. It is still unclear if Jupiter has a central core of solid material or if it's a thick, super hot and dense soup. Sort of like if you think the plasma of the sun, but we know it doesn't create fusion, so it wouldn't be hydrogen plasma or anything like that. It could be up to 50,000 degrees Celsius and made mostly of iron and silicate materials similar to quartz. So as you can see here, children, there's still so much about the universe and our own solar system that we just don't know about. But with further studies into the great unknown, maybe we'll get to learn a few more mysteries. Further satellite missions to the planet are always in the works with astronomers, and now with the launch of the JWST, which is the James West Satellite Telescope, we are getting more interesting looks into our planets in the local neighborhood too. And I'm just going to put up some photos here. So we have very recently, like as the past month or two, we have photos of Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. If you want to see more information about like JWST, I would recommend watching some videos from Dr. Becky. She is an amazing astrophysicist and she studies black holes. And she talks a lot about satellites, how they work, and as well as the JWST, which is the most recent, and it's been in the works for the past 30 years, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. So because it uses extremely long, like it studies extremely long wavelengths, it looks at the far infrared, and it is placed outside of Earth's atmosphere. It is further than the moon, and it blocks out a lot of the light from the sun, so it's able to see. It's almost complete zero, like there's no heat and no light coming from the sun, so it can see very, very well into the very, very distant past, almost to the birth of the universe. Very exciting. I think I will eventually do a video on that, but for now, here's just some photos from our outer solar system. I honestly don't feel like I've covered enough about Jupiter. There's just so much information about all the planets, but I just feel like Jupiter is so vast and so interesting. It's too hard to do like a little snippet, like a sound bite of Jupiter. I did my best. I did what I did. Maybe I can do some catch-up videos in the future about some planets or topics that I feel like I could do better. Like the moons. I totally forgot to talk about the moons. Where's my lipstick? Where did I put it? So Jupiter has like 80 moons or satellites. 57 have official names and 23 are awaiting to be named. Jupiter's 4 largest moons are known as the Galilean satellites because, well, Galileo observed them in 1610 because they are the largest, they are the brightest, and could be seen with, telescopes from that age. And they are known as Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. They are all Greek goddess names. I like this color. You know what? I feel like I really have achieved Jupiter's coloring on my face. Here is the symbol for Jupiter. No, I am not going to put it on my head because I'm going to be going out for lunch with my mother in the city today, and I feel like I'm keeping this look. Tell me what you think down in the comments down below. And this is going to be it for me today. I hope you did find the video informative and enjoyable. Keep the discussion going down below in the comments. Ask me some questions and I'll see if I can find any answers and resources that might be helpful. If you did like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like as well. So yes, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, month, and year. And hopefully I will see you next time here on Makeup and Science. Bye!